Hello and welcome to the second in our series of videos where I answer your questions about raising investment. Now our second question is from Arun Manickam and he asks how much traction is needed to convince investors in a seed round. So there's a really simple answer to this, and that's as much traction as possible. The more traction you have, the more proof and evidence that you can give an investor that your product or service is something that the industry demands, that your customers demand, then the better. The more likely you are to be able to raise the investment that you need and convince investors that your business is the one to back. But traction's a very vague term. There's a lot of misunderstanding, misconception amongst founders and investors as to what is meant by traction. There's a communication barrier between those two parties. And often what investors in a seed round, in an early stage or a pre-seed round, are looking for in terms of traction is quite different to what founders understand it to mean. They often think that traction means customers. And of course, if your traction is customers, then that's great. That puts you in a really strong position. But you don't have to have customers. You don't have to be generating revenue to have achieved some level of traction. So I like to think of this more like proof, evidence, validation. So I often refer to it as traction and validation. So because traction instantly makes you think about paying customers. So it's better to think about this as validation. What validation do I have to prove to an early stage investor that this is something that's worth getting behind? So that validation could be something like a survey from a number of people. Now this survey that you might do needs to be more than one question, and it needs to be more than, say, just 10 of your friends on Facebook filling in a poll. A substantial survey with a few hundred potential people in your audience could be enough to get your first pre-seed round of investment. You might also look at industry research and third-party validation. From other sources, other research articles that prove that what you need is required. You may also look at focus groups. You may bring in some experts in your industry alongside some potential customers, and between you start to develop a product that's going to be suitable for the market. So you could have that research and that evidence and the recordings from that focus group. You could do some A/B split testing. You could literally within a few clicks go to Wix, set up a landing page of your website for this product that you're thinking of building as if it exists. So create it like a marketing landing page, and you could have a link on there that says sign up today. You could then start promoting that on Facebook and spend £50 to £100 on some Facebook ads. And you could send that out to the wider world and people will click through, they click the sign up button, and then it goes to a second page that says, oh, really sorry, this isn't available in your area right now. Sign up to our list below and you'll be notified of when this is available. And that will do two things. One, you'll start building a list of people that want your product and you can market it to, but just the number of clicks on that ad gives you an idea of how in demand this product will be in the market to that chosen target audience. And it will also tell you how many people then clicked and how long they spent on the page if you've got some analytics built in. And again, you can track your conversion rate through click and interest to people actually spending time on your site and absorbing what your product's going to do, to that final click, how many people have clicked the button to sign up, and then how many people have actually joined your mailing list. And that gives you a really good indication as to the interest in your market and what your conversion rates might be if you were to scale this up and roll this product out. So there's nothing wrong with you starting to market your product before you've even built something. So anything like that, anything that delivers proof or traction, quotes from industry experts or people within the industry that can lend their credibility to what you're trying to achieve, anything like that in the earlier stages, the more of that you have, the more you build up a picture of how valued your product or your service, your solution is going to be to your audience. So my advice, Aaron, would be to do as much as you possibly can. You don't have to focus on paying customers, But what you do want to do is have a whole suite of proof points, from some focus groups to some surveys to some industry experts to some third party research from journals and industry kind of magazines and industry research articles. All of these things, when bundled together in the right way, will give you and the investor the confidence that what you're building is something that the market demands. So I hope that answers your question. And as ever, if anyone's got any questions they want to be part of this series, then stick it in the comments below. And I'll add you to the list of questions that I'm going to be getting through over the course of the following weeks. So that's all from me, and speak to you soon. All the best. Bye.